All right. So now that we are done with our formatting, our report looks quite good, quite elegant. It's time to start analyzing it. And in order to analyze the report, what we need to do first is consolidate the report. And the most common function used in Excel for consolidating any data is obviously the pivot function. So we're going to learn the pivot function. Now, in order to create a pivot, excuse me, I would first go to the top left hand corner. I can either go create a pivot to using my computer mouse. So I go to the insert option, click on the pivot table, click on the first option from table slash range. The Excel automatically selects the entire data. It gives me two options. First is it gives me an option to select the range. I can either select the partial range or the complete range of the data. Second option is where do I want to place my keyword table, whether it is in new worksheet or in existing worksheet. If it's in an existing worksheet, then where do I want to place in the existing worksheet? I had to specify. In my case, I want to place it in the new worksheet. So I'll just click on OK. And a space for pivot table is created, plus the option menu is provided to me on the right hand side. Now I have the option to place the fields and then place it over in this particular section and create the report of my choice. So let's see what is our purpose. What is it that we want to analyze first? Let's analyze depending on the region. So which region is giving me higher revenue, and then maybe we can further categorize it in terms of product. So I can either, if I have too many columns, I can either directly type region in this space and then the region box would appear. Then I would move it somewhere over here. Okay. Or the other option could have been I either go and select from here. Also, one thing I may have missed is if you don't want to create, if you don't want to use the computer mouse, if you just want to create a pivot using Excel shortcut, the shortcut is Alt N V and then the enter. The same pop-up for pivot table would appear. Okay. Okay. So now that we have this, we can hide the blank. You don't need the blank over here. Let's start putting down the month's revenue. Now you see we have two columns, two set of columns with the same name, one of the units and other obviously of the revenue. So what Pivot has done is Pivot has automatically named the second set of columns with a slightly different name. It has suffixed to after the second set of columns. I'll take this one because I need to analyze the total revenue and not the volume. To do that, so now I have month-wise revenue numbers, month-wise revenue numbers for all the three regions, including the total. Uh, the only thing that's probably bothering me slightly is there are too many columns, and maybe I don't want to analyze these for each month. It would be good if I can group them into quarters. So each quarter of 3 months, and then it would be visually much better looking, and it would be easy for me to analyze that also. But the issue is I don't have the quarter-wise revenue available. It's only month-wise. Now I can either go to my source data, add few columns of each quarter, and then add the revenue, and then maybe extend my pivot table range to include that. Or the other option that Excel provides me is I can use, I can add a calculated field over here itself. How do I do that? I go to any place in this pivot, I put my cursor over here, and then I go to pivot table, analyze, field, and then add a calculated field. I'll name the field that I want to add as quarter one. Then, since it's a calculated field, the name itself suggests that this field is not there in the original data. I want to calculate this and include it in Excel. The way I would do this is go to revenue for, since it's quarter one, I would include the revenue for each month for first quarter, so which is Jan, Feb, and March. I'll just add them. Then I want to add another column similarly for Q2, which would be for next quarter, so next 3 months, April, May, and June. So that's it. So now I should have all 3 quarters. I've added them. It's not reflecting over here. So let me go to show field list. I right click on and I go to anywhere in the pivot table and right click on show field list. I should have all these quarters now visible to me. I'll just click on them so that they're added. And then what I can do is I can uncheck the months. So I don't need them now. I already have the quarters. Okay. So now I have full year and each quarter. Let me bring this towards extreme right. So it looks fine now. Let me format this properly. Yeah. So this is my full year revenue around $20 billion with quarterly revenues almost equally distributed of 5 billion. Sorry, 5 billion. Uh, I can, in fact, rename them properly. I don't want to use this sum of every time. So I'm using a function called find and replace. Shortcut is Control H. What I'm doing is I'm writing sum of and replacing them with blank. When I press, when I click on replace all or when I just press Alt A, which is the shortcut, it has replaced that sum of, and now we are only left with quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four, and FY 2023, which are the right naming convention. Uh, then, like I said, we can further uh, drill this through our analysis by using the category of the product. Where can I find the category? Let's see. Yeah. So here's the product category. I just select it and bring it right beside the region. So I have now, or for each region, I have the product category as well. So this gives me, so now, I mean, when I was looking at the region-wise numbers, I realized that India and US are almost at par, but Europe is not giving me the desired revenue, maybe, or its revenue is half of what India and US is giving me. Maybe I need to pay more attention to the European market. Then I would also like to know which category of product in each region gives me the most revenue. When I look at Europe, I clearly see medium range product dominating the market, and then the high range, and then the low range category. In Indian market, it's pretty much the same, and same's the story in US market. Okay, the only difference being, in case of US, the difference between high and low range is not that. Okay. What I can also do is if I want to prioritize the category in my analysis, I would just move it above the region. What it does is then it prioritizes the category of the product than the region. So now I can see that my high category product is giving me a revenue of 3.5, followed by the low category product, but my medium category product is giving me majority of the revenue. Okay, so out of the 20.3 million, almost 14 million, so 70% of my revenue is coming from the medium range product. So that way I can play around this data and I can use the pivot. So basically we'll be using more pivot in our training come. because we will also be incorporating the charts and graphs into it. Pivot is a great tool for data consolidation and also data analysis at times. However, it has few limitations also. So number one limitation is I cannot use any calculation within the pivot table. You see, whenever I try to say if I want to find the difference between quarter three and quarter two number of the high category product in Europe, I cannot do it within the pivot. I had to do it outside of pivot, and that too the naming range every time I have to change it manually. That's the one drawback of pivot. Second drawback is pivot table creates a database of its own. That means if I click somewhere here, it will give me in a separate sheet the entire data once again. So that means pivot table has created a duplicate copy of the data that I already have. This makes the file heavier, and then it makes it difficult to operate, maybe difficult to share if I want to share it over an email, etc. Right? So that's the drawback of pivot. In order to counter this, we use something known as sum if or sum else function. Let's look at those functions.